Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I am in my car with my cell phone yet again doing another video for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and I thought today I would do a video about why I play Dungeons & Dragons and probably why other people play Dungeons & Dragons. Now, I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons for almost a decade, and my first exposure to Dungeons & Dragons was hearing about it when I was at school, which is over 40 years ago, or roughly around that. And apparently they used strange-looking dice, and I always thought it was a ridiculous game. I've never actually seen it played. It didn't make sense to me. It was all about the imagination and dragons, and you roll these weird dice, and so I never had anything to do with it. It wasn't till later on that I was exposed to it when I was at university, and also slightly before that. I remember coming across some miniatures, some lead miniatures and Whitkills, which I painted up with Humbrol paints. So my involvement with Dungeons & Dragons was initially just buying the books because I liked the artwork. That was it. Later on, I wound up playing war games. That's where my origins are, playing Warhammer, Warhammer 40k, tabletop war games, not playing role-play games, and certainly not playing Dungeons & Dragons. And the fact that I'm now running a channel for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, I find quite amusing. So why did I shift from playing war games to playing Dungeons & Dragons, and why do other people do it? Well, for me, I found I was playing my tabletop war games or Warhammer 40k with a number of people in stores, outside of stores and game clubs, and after 2 years, what did I have to show for it? I didn't actually have any friends. They were competitors. We played by association, but we didn't do anything outside of our wargaming. We didn't do anything outside of our time we spent in the store, painting or playing. Even in the clubs, they were competitors, and you moved on. Once you'd bet one competitor, you would move on to the next one and see if you could beat somebody else. I didn't really have friends from that. So I decided one day I would pretty much ditch everything, and I did. I gave away a lot of stuff. I threw a lot of stuff away. I was spending a lot of money, and I decided I would have a go at playing Dungeons & Dragons. My first sort of forte into it was trying to use the old books. It didn't work very well. I played Hero Quest as a teenager with my brothers and sisters, which I enjoyed, but that wasn't really Dungeons & Dragons. That was Hero Quest, the board game. Later on, I tried playing it with some friends in a flatting situation, and then when I decided I wanted to get serious about it, I picked up 3.5 D&D, and I played that with an individual who was looking for a group, and I played with him for quite some time and that particular group. I don't really play with a lot of them now. They've sort of moved on and I've moved on. But what I did find was I was having a better outcome from it. I was getting invited to birthday gatherings. We were going out to the movies. We were doing things outside of just playing Dungeons & Dragons. I actually had friends, people who wanted to be around me, not just to beat me, because that's not what Dungeons & Dragons is about. It's about teamwork. And that's what's so important about playing the game and why I keep playing it. A lot of the people that I play Dungeons & Dragons with, I still know. Either I communicate on Facebook or I bump into them and play with them or do things outside of the game or continue to play with them for years after we ever met. There are people I know who play the game. We've been playing for years. And this is why I think a lot of people really enjoy the game and stick with it. There's another reason why I play Dungeons & Dragons. It's not just the friendships that seem to last. I mean, some have fallen aside, but it's not just the friendships. It's the simple fact that sometimes, life and work and the pressures that you're under, they feel too much. And Dungeons & Dragons is an escape. I can't count the number of times that I have felt very much like a weekend warrior. You know, on the weekend, I'm looking forward to the weekend because I get to play Dungeons and Dragons on a Sunday with my mates. And I did that for years. And then, of course, Monday would come and it's back to the grind, doing the job. And, you know, you've got to do what the boss says and you've got to make sure everything's done on time. And if you've got a very heavy lifting job and there's lots of physical stuff going on, it can be a bit grinding, you know, paying the bills, making sure you can survive, all that sort of stuff, handing in your homework. So getting away from everything, that's one of the things that I really like about Dungeons and Dragons. And I think that's why other people do it too. The other reason I would say that I really enjoy Dungeons and Dragons as a game is, unlike other games, most other games are competitive in nature. So at the end of them, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. But that's not really the case with Dungeons and Dragons, unless of course you have somebody who believes that the Dungeon Master is supposed to beat the players and the players think they're supposed to beat the Dungeon Master. But that's not really been the experience that I've had to contend with. And the times that does take place, those are the environments that I avoid. I don't actually get drawn to those particular situations. It's good to actually be involved in something that's cooperative, where you all work together towards something. It builds teamwork. It helps improve relationships. And I would not be the same person I am now unless I had played Dungeons and Dragons. It's just a simple fact. I would never be running a YouTube channel. This is really a surprise to my family and to me. And this is why I play Dungeons and Dragons. And I have no doubt that's probably the reason why a lot of other people do too. So I don't know if people will find this video helpful or informative, but if you did, please share, like and subscribe. I think more importantly, I really want to hear from other people about why they play Dungeons and Dragons. Leave it in the comments. Let me know why you play the game. And till next time, keep rolling those 20s.